You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I have long said I believe there's already a deal in place for Aaron Rodgers. Do I think it's a deal that's necessarily been signed? No. I made a video the other day where it had came out that there was a belief that there had already been a handshake agreement between Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. A handshake with who? I guess we don't know for sure. Mike Tomlin doesn't seem to be sweating the quarterback position. And based on the NFL draft, I don't guess the Steelers were either, although I love the Will Howard pick. I do. And I think there's a world where he could eventually be the Steelers starter. But that's a subject for a different day. All right. Antonio Brown has come out and said that the Aaron Rodgers deal has been done. He said that quite a while back and then said it again about, the day I made that video, which has been 3, 4, 5 days ago maybe. But now we have a Steelers minority owner. Now, how involved he is, I don't know. But at the same time, he would at least know something. And he has come out and made a rather puzzling comment about the Aaron Rodgers situation. So we're going to take a look at this. This is SteelerNation.com. Pittsburgh Steelers have one of the more interesting quarterback rooms in the NFL with a group consisting of Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, and Skylar Thompson. Oh, I don't understand the Skylar Thompson thing. I mean, he had one Miami Dolphins game, a playoff game, where he actually hung in with the Buffalo Bills against the Bills for a little while in that game. And that's been really the only thing. I mean, there's better arms out there right now. I mean, I got to be honest with you. Considering the Arthur Smith connection, and I checked his age the other day, he's 36. I would sign Ryan Tannehill as a backup quarterback. I mean, he knows Arthur Smith's system, so he's 36. People I don't guess, realize this. Ryan Tannehill had a pretty strong arm, which means, look, regardless of age, the arm is the last thing to go. It tends to be the legs and some other stuff. But you get my point. He could be the third quarterback. Howard is a late-round rookie if Rodgers doesn't come along. Howard is a late-round rookie. Thompson has struggled when he has seen the field, and Rudolph has been inconsistent at best throughout his professional career. It is in consideration for the worst quarterback room in the league, but that can all change if Pittsburgh can finally get a deal done with veteran quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Now, some are saying that I guess he was seen wearing what looked like a wedding ring the other day, and he's talked about he hadn't signed a deal or he hadn't shown up or whatever. Really, it's because of personal involvement of some kind he's got away from football. All of this, the longer it goes, it would worry me if I'm the Steelers a little bit. Pittsburgh has been in talks with Rodgers since the first week of free agency, and all signs have pointed to the two parties eventually joining forces. However, Rodgers is taking his time making his decision. He is weighing the option of retirement while also dealing with several personal matters, and a timetable for when he will eventually sign is unknown. The Steelers seem like the only reasonable landing spot for the four-time league MVP, but it is up to him whether or not he would like to play football. You still got to wonder if the Vikings are laying in the weeds somewhere. Pittsburgh's team brass has been very optimistic about the whole situation. Team president Art Rooney II has spoken publicly multiple times about Rodgers eventually signing, and everything he has said has made it seem like Rodgers will sign soon. One of Pittsburgh's minority owners, Thomas Tull, recently appeared on CNBC where he was discussing artificial intelligence when he was asked about Aaron Rodgers. Quote, "I'm here to talk about AI, and that's a more complex issue than artificial intelligence," Toll said. I don't know that I love that. The minority owners of the Steelers are not involved with the team when it comes to decisions regarding the personnel on the roster as a whole, so it's hard to know just how tapped in Toll is to the whole situation. He likely knows some information, but is not involved in the process at all when it comes to actually signing Rodgers. How in the frick could he not be somewhat involved? I guess it would depend on how minority is minority. Yeah, which would make some sense. I mean, look, Tom Brady is a minority owner with the Raiders, and he's basically like the team president. I kid you not. He is basically like the team president. Mark Davis has turned most of the decision-making over to Tom Brady, who was involved with hiring a GM and hiring Pete Carroll. Toll, now, of course, he played NFL quarterback and was the greatest of all time. That's a big difference. I should say that. Toll founded a production company and is also an investor. He became a minority owner of the Steelers in 2009 after being a fan for his entire life. As a minority owner, he is still a fan, but it cannot be stated enough that he is not involved with the construction of the team. He can just be speaking from what he has seen in the media without any true insight. Okay, well, I mean, that clears that up. Again, there's going to be different levels of minority ownership, probably depending on, like, for example, Eli Manning is trying to get a stake in the Giants. So is, I think, Michael Strahan. And surprisingly, they're part of two different groups trying to get an ownership. Look, either one of those guys gets a minority ownership. I would say particularly Eli Manning. Eli's probably going to have some knowledge and some involvement there, in what's going on. You can tell Phil Simms knows things that are going on involving, that's just the way it is. This guy sounds like a different situation. I'm wondering, though, how long before Steelers fans really start to panic about the quarterback situation? Because, look, I think you could go 10-7, 11-6 with Aaron Rodgers, and be very competitive. I just think between Tomlin and Rodgers both, you're going to do better than you did last year. But what happens if he doesn't show up at the 11th hour? The other thing is, and good Lord, you want to talk about never being able to set foot into Pittsburgh again, what happens if all of a sudden he pivots to a different team? I've still, again, everybody said, well, Sam Howell just got traded to the Vikings. Okay, well, say it out loud. Aaron Rodgers or Sam Howell? That's easy. Come on. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.